the February 3rd meeting at 4:31 p.m. And then we can move on to agenda item number 2 for roll call.
Yes, commissioners, I'll call your names. When you hear your name, if you could please say present for the record. Commissioner Blakely. Commissioner Burr.
Present.
Commissioner Fu.
Present.
Commissioner Gonzalez.
Present.
Commissioner Pacheco.
Present.
Commissioner Sakai.
Present.
Commissioner Schneider. Commissioner Colombo. And
Okay, should we all, or Commissioner Fu, should we all stand? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and for all.
And then moving on to agenda item number 4, I believe we have a special presentation today.
Yes, Vice Chair Sakai and Youth Commission today, as per our work plan, we've been able to schedule presentations for the Youth Commissions to gain more knowledge and information of items across and issues and topics in Encinitas and throughout the North County region and San Diego County. So today, on following with that, we have our management analyst with the city of Encinitas, Ashley Stradigan, as well as our Civic Spark Fellow, Dominic Dashwood, that will be making a presentation on zero waste here in the city of Encinitas. And I'll turn it over to them.
Thank you, Christian. Hi, everyone. I'm Ashley Stratakis. As you mentioned, I'm an analyst with the Public Works Department. And here tonight, I have presenting with me Dominique Dashwood. She's a Civic Spark Fellow with AmeriCorps, and she's been working with me on the solid waste management programs here in Encinitas. First, I want to say thank you so much for having us tonight. We're really excited to share with you guys what we've been doing the last few years. When it comes to zero waste, we have a lot of exciting programs coming on board. So first, I'll give you some background on our solid waste division. So you might not hear too much about the trash programs in Encinitas, and that's usually a good thing. That means your trash is being taken away and everything's going as planned. And so that's part of one thing that we manage is our contract with the solid waste hauler, which is EDCO. You may see their trucks driving around and they make sure that our trash is taken care of, recycling and green waste. And then we're also working on the implementation plan the implementation of the Climate Action Plan Zero Waste Strategy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, and we'll get into that later in the presentation. And then we're also working to ensure that we meet state requirements we've been spending a lot of time on this recently, and again, later we'll talk more about this and new laws that we have coming down the pipeline. And then finally, we also do outreach and education on zero waste programs as well as environmental activities.
I just want to say thank you, Youth Commission, for giving us the opportunity to present to you today. I'm very excited about it. So I'll give you a little bit more background about the types of waste that we're generating, not just in Encinitas, but for the broader San Diego area. So this is from a study that was done of the composition of the San Diego landfill, which is where we send our waste from 2012-2013. So you can see the largest portion is organics. So these are your food scraps, your yard trimmings, and this is really something that we want to keep out of the landfill, because when it decomposes in the landfill, it generates methane, which is a potent greenhouse gas. And it's something that can be recycled. So this is something that city is working on to develop an organics recycling program that Ashley will touch on later. The next largest portion is construction and demolition. So that's if you tear down a house, the concrete, the wood, the bricks that are left over, that falls under that category. And then paper, plastic, metal, glass, those are all items that are recyclable. So those are things that we heavily encourage residents to recycle and to properly recycle, so we can keep them out of the landfill and recycle them and give them another use. And then last category, other. So those are things that probably should end up in the landfill, the things that can't be recycled. So we're just working to reduce all these categories and send as little to landfill as possible. And Ashley is going to touch a little bit more on that now.
So while we have your attention, we really want to stress why it's so important to reduce our waste. We have a few different major reasons here. The first one is available landfill space. So here in California especially, land is very precious and limited. And when we go about our daily lives, we usually use things and then kind of throw them out and don't really think about where they go. But they usually end up at the landfill. And it's a problem in particular in San Diego because our landfill disposal fees, our trash rates, are relatively low compared to other regions, and they don't reflect the true cost of what it actually costs to throw something away. So that is an issue. And then also the landfills emit emissions, methane in particular, from organic waste such as food waste and green waste. And so that's a really big issue as well. And then we also have plastic pollution. And so one interesting fact, so out of all of the plastic that ever existed, only 9% has been recycled. So the rest of that is going into the landfill or unfortunately littering our earth and ocean. And researchers say that by 2050, they expect as much plastic to be in the ocean as fish, which is not okay. And then finally, we have resource consumption. So we use different items, we throw them away, and then buy new ones when there are so many options to use reusables instead, because when we do use those single-use items, they're taking up valuable resources that we know are limited on our planet.
So lucky for us in Encinitas, that's something that our community and city council finds very important, to try to reduce our waste. And there is a zero waste strategy of our climate action plan. So it's part of our overall strategy to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Crystal Nahara spoke to you all a couple months ago about the climate action plan, and I believe she touched on this a little bit. But our goal for 2020, we're still waiting to hear back if we achieve these goals, but was to divert 65% of total solid waste generated. So this is equivalent to just over 5 pounds per person per day that people are throwing away. And then 2030, our goal is to divert 80% of total solid waste. So that's only 3 pounds per person per day that we're throwing away. Now, as you can see this chart here from the Climate Action Plan, we've fluctuated just a little bit since 2012. Still waiting to hear if we meet that 2020 target, but once the organics recycling program is in place, we'll hopefully be pushed below that line and start making progress on this strategy.
So organics, this is one of the new exciting programs that we have up and coming. So according to our new state law, SB 1383, everyone's required to recycle their food waste with their green waste. A lot of us do have green waste bins already. So in June, we will be able to add our food waste to those green waste bins. It's very exciting. EDCO, our waste hauler, they constructed an anaerobic digester, which is able to take that food waste with the green waste and convert it into renewable natural gas, which is going to fuel their trucks that collect trash and recycling. And then also the digester will produce digestate, which can be used as fertilizer or compost. And there are a lot of benefits to this. As I mentioned before, the organics in landfills is emitting methane. So by diverting it into this anaerobic digester, we will reduce our greenhouse gas emissions significantly. So stay tuned for that. And then also, oh, really quick, I wanted to mention, just to give you an idea of some of the things that will go in the green waste bin once the program's up and running. You have food scraps, so meats, bones, dairy, food soiled paper, such as napkins, paper plates, and then even pizza boxes. So with the case of a pizza box, you want the greasy part to go into the green cart and the clean part to go in the recycling bin, because that still can be reused if it's clean. And then of course, landscape waste.
And similar messaging on social media, telling people what can and can't be recycled. Another thing that we did was during the beginning of COVID, when grocery stores weren't accepting plastic bags for recycling because you can't recycle them in your regular blue bin. We set out a couple temporary plastic bag recycling boxes at City Hall and Public Works so residents could still come and recycle their plastic bags. So just a couple reminders. The 3 key rules. The jar, as little food as possible left in there. Dry, just emptying out your water bottle, your soda bottle when you're done. And then loose, like I said, no plastic bags should be going in the recycling. It'll clog up the machines. So just dumping everything loose into your blue cart.
And we also have a household hazardous waste program. So HHW consists of anything that's toxic, poisonous, corrosive, flammable, etc. And some examples are electronic waste, batteries, paint, oil, medical waste. And we offer a program. There are 2 facilities, one in Vista, one in Poway, where residents can drop off their HHW for free on a Saturday, or they can call a number and have it picked up for a small fee. And we also have Solana Center here in Encinitas that offers electronic waste and battery and light bulb recycling as well. You just need to call and check for their hours. But yeah, we just want to make sure that we're keeping these items out of the landfill, out of trash, as well as recycling.
All right, and then one of the most fun things we get to do is teaching the community about how they can help reduce their waste footprint. We do this through workshops, educational events, and providing resources to residents. So for these, we usually partner with 3 really awesome organizations in the community. Solana Center helps us put on workshops. Their specialty is composting, and they also help us by doing business waste audits, which is kind of like a business assessment. So they'll go into a business and help them find ways to try to reduce their waste and save them money. Another organization, I Live a Clean San Diego, they help us put on webinars that you can attend. There's one coming up this Saturday on how to have a conscious closet. And another thing they do is hosting the Zero Waste Fair, which takes place in the summer. We've done it a few years in the past, this year to be virtual, but hopefully in the future we can come together in person again. And then the last, BCK, they work really closely with the schools in the area to get students involved in reducing their waste as well.
And then finally, our favorite part. So we have all these activities as a city, but we also want to give individuals tools and know that how they can reduce their impact. So we have a few tips here, and hopefully some of them you're already involved with, such as, using a reusable water bottle. Maybe you have metal straw or utensils that you carry around made of metal or bamboo. But there are so many different things you can do. And so you can shop at thrift stores, buy used goods. Online now, there's so many good resources like Facebook Marketplace and OfferUp, and even for clothing, especially places like Poshmark or ThredUp, they have really good name brand stuff for sale. And then for items that maybe you only need once and probably wouldn't use again, you might want to borrow that from a friend or neighbor. And also, even though it's hard with COVID right now to purchase in bulk, we do have our 1 Zero Waste store in Encinitas where you can bring in containers and get household goods refilled there, such as shampoo, conditioner, dish soap, and there's a ton of different things that you can get refilled. It's called the Nada Shop. And then some other things you can do is make sure that you're recycling right. As Dominique mentioned earlier, we don't want to see any wish cycling. The motto is like, when in doubt, throw it out. And then finally, when the program starts, make sure that you're adding your food waste to the green waste bin to divert as much greenhouse gas emissions from landfill as possible. And so that wraps it up for us. If you guys have any questions for us, we're happy to answer them. Also, we have our contact information on the next page, and I love to talk about zero waste. If you guys have ideas or questions for ways that you can switch to reusables versus a single-use item, I'm always happy to help you out, and I know Dominique is too. So thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you. Commissioner Sakai, I was wondering how you guys are getting like this information out to to people so then they know like exactly what to do and how, and just that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. All right. So we have our city's website and we're pretty active on social media. It's really hard with COVID right now to spread the information in other ways, but usually when the city has special events like street fairs, we usually have some booths like Solana Center. They'll set up a booth and provide information. And they will be at the farmers market in a few months, especially regarding the organics program, since that will be starting soon and that will be very new and different for everyone. So we want to educate people as much as possible about that new program. But yeah, those are the main ways that we are educating. And if Dominique, if you want to add anything, feel free.
Yeah, I think you pretty much covered it. The website, social media, partnering with community organizations, and just trying to stay creative with our outreach ideas as we're still under the COVID restrictions.
This is Supervisor Hernandez. So over the weekend, and I was looking at it, I have a friend from high school. She actually created an app, and I want to share it with you guys. It's called Cycle. It's an eco-friendly around you. So what this app does, it's kind of works in conjunction, like in a sense like Yelp, but it bases off restaurants based on how eco-friendly they are. So right now it's focused on big cities. So I just wanted, I came across it over the weekend and I was like, oh, I'm gonna share it. So yeah, it's called Cycle, CYCL. And then
that's great.
You can find it on the App Store. I know it's mostly in the big cities, but it's very interesting to see that there's tools out there like that.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. And that reminds me that we are, hopefully we're partnering with Surfrider to get a program up and running. We're still working on, we're still in the discussion phase, but if some of you may have noticed in downtown Encinitas, sometimes, especially on the weekends during COVID, like the takeout container litter has been crazy and just like so much garbage, like spilling out of the garbage cans, like people don't have anywhere to put it. So we're trying to find a way to reduce that kind of waste by allowing people to bring their reusable containers. And eventually that's definitely a vision that Dominique and I have for the city one day, is for people to be able to bring their reusable containers or have an exchange program where there's a kiosk downtown and you can pick up a container and the restaurants will provide your takeout in that. And so hopefully soon. Well, thank you guys so much. We really appreciate it.
All right, I'll go ahead and stop my sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. And then agenda item number 5, oral communications.
Yeah, sure. Vice Chair Sakai, we do have 2 oral communications for public comment. Secretary.
Sorry, Christian, I couldn't get my computer off of mute, but yes, we do have 2 speakers. We have Carmen Ruiz and Annabelle Breeder, and there are no public speakers to an agenda item. And just as a reminder to each speaker, you will have 3 minutes to address the commission. You will hear a chime sound at the end of the 3-minute term to let you know that your time limit time limit has expired. So first up, we'll have Carmen Ruiz.
Good afternoon, commission and staff. I want to introduce myself first. My name is Carmen Ruiz, and I am the Youth Services Librarian at the Encinitas Library. My main focus is to provide programming and resources to the youth of the community. But since the pandemic has hit, the library has changed the way in which we deliver not only books and other physical media, but also how we do outreach and programming. We have been doing doorside hold pickup since the stay-at-home order was given in the beginning of December. But I just wanted to come in today and say that as of yesterday, our service model is changing once again, and we are now going to be offering in-person services at the library. This allows people to come into the building and check out items between 10 a.m. and 12:30 and 1:30 to 4. There is a 1-hour sanitation break between those times, and that is on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Monday and Friday, we will remain at doorside pickup for holds only. The services available include browsing the branch's collection, checking out items, printing and copying, and also Wi-Fi access. Patrons are expected to follow all public health guidelines stated by the county. We have also had a lot of demand in our e-resources materials, which are available through the Libby app with your library card number. Now, as a reminder, if some of you may know, San Diego High School District has partnered with Sora and the San Diego County Library to allow their students to use the Sora app with their school logins in order to access e-materials. So you don't need a library card. As long as you have your school login, you can use the app to get e-materials. This allows students the accessibility and ease of checking on materials fast and accurately. As librarians, we have tried to stay on top of all the changes going on with the district and the county, and we will continue to provide as much support and information as quick as things continue to change. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call the branch Monday through Friday between 10 and 4. And if anybody needs my email, let me know. I can definitely give that to the staff. Thank you guys so much for having me, and I hope to see some of you at the library.
And then next up, we have Annabelle Breeder.
Good afternoon, this is Annabelle Breeder, and I am a senior at San Diego Academy. I'm speaking tonight to bring awareness to an issue that affects all of us. We often hear about the dangers of drinking and driving, but did you know that driving under the influence of drugs is also a big problem? Sadly, San Diego County set a record in 2020 for the number of people killed because of intoxicated drivers, even though the streets and highways were less crowded because of the pandemic. Part of the reason is a significant increase in the number of people driving under the influence of marijuana and the prescription drug Xanax. These were preventable deaths, as San Diego City Attorney Mara Elliott said in her commentary that was published in the Encinitas Advocate and other local newspapers. A new study from the Journal of the American Medical Association reports that about half of American teenagers who use marijuana on a regular basis admit to driving while high. This trend must be changed. If a person has used marijuana, they will not be able to drive safely. The abilities to pay attention, react quickly, and stay in one lane are all affected. The other drug, Xanax, is also responsible for many of the DUI cases. Xanax can cause dizziness and drowsiness, which is extremely dangerous when driving. Both high school students and adults need to hear this message. As this new year begins, I hope that everyone can make a promise to never drive under the influence of alcohol or drugs and never ride with someone who's under the influence. When you go out, always carry the number of a rideshare service or someone you can call for a safe ride home. And please share this information with others. Thank you.
Okay, and then moving on to agenda item number 6, are there any changes to the agenda?
Supervisor Hernandez, there are none.
And then agenda item number 7 is approval for the January 6th, 2021 Youth Commission regular meeting minutes.
Commissioner Gonzalez motions.
Commissioner Fu seconds.
All right, commissioners, I will call your name if you are in favor of approving the January 6th meeting minutes. Please say aye. Commissioner Burr,
Aye.
Commissioner Fu,
Aye.
Commissioner Gonzalez,
Aye.
Commissioner Pacheco,
Aye.
Commissioner Sakai,
Aye.
and Commissioner Schneider.
Aye.
Let the record show that the motion passes 6-0, and Commissioners Blakely, Colombo, and Kulik are absent.
And then moving on to agenda item number 8, action items. So for the fiscal year 2020 to 2021.
Yes, and this is Supervisor Fernandez, so thank you, Vice Chair and Commission. We've made some progress in our work plan, having initial meetings and conversations. Just like today, we had a speaker, which is part of our work plan, just having the civic engagement series, and the speaker for the remaining youth commission meetings is one of our goals. So we're working diligently to schedule those. I've also emailed the ad hoc committees. So we have made progress. I'll let once you go through the list, I'll let the commissioners speak on those items. But I did like to share that we are moving forward and progressing through our work. Oh, and there is one more item that I'd like to make note of. It was item number 5, the bike safety biking movie event. If you recall, that was part of the Go by Bike mini grant that was awarded to the city of Encinitas on behalf of SANDAG. Unfortunately, SANDAG informed us prior to the meeting that they will not be granting or awarding the grant due to COVID. So all of their programming for the Go by Bike mini grant has been canceled for the year 2021. So as staff, we'll look forward to applying for the future year, and hopefully we can have an event in 2022 based on grant funds. So, and I'm available for any questions. So Vice Chair Sakai, if you'd like, or go by the items, and the ad hoc committees can speak on those items as we go through, and I can answer any questions.
Okay, so for focus area number 2, I know that there was a meeting on last Monday, I think. So if anyone went to that, could you please share on what happened?
Commissioner Pacheco. Basically, it was Commissioner Burr and I and Mr. Hernandez, who we just talked about. We looked at some of the other cities and how they did theirs. And then we talked about how we were going to do it and how we're going to film it and who's going to edit it and everything, and the script we were going to come up with.
And this is Supervisor Fernandez. So just to add on to Commissioner Pacheco's comments, we did meet in regards to the how-to videos, if you recall. It's a Zoom and ActiveNet registration. So we were able to view a couple other cities, and we're finalizing the script for that. And Commissioner Burr gave us a great idea. There's an application, if I'm not mistaken, called Screencastify. It's an extension that we're able to mirror what we're working on the laptop. So we're making progress there.
Are there any updates for focus area number 3? Are there any updates on focus area number 4?
This is Supervisor Hernandez again. So this is one, mostly the entire ad hoc is absent to our meeting today, but we do have an email thread that's going on where ideas have been shared in regards to contacts and potential speakers for future meetings on creating a list that amongst the ad hoc committee that we're working on and reaching out to those speakers. So there is progress.
Commissioner Gonzalez, I just wanted to put out there that I am in contact with Supervisor Nathan Fletcher if we ever want him to talk.
Okay. And then are there any updates for focus area number 5?
This is Supervisor Hernandez. That is the item that was, at this time it's canceled due to the funding not being available anymore on behalf of Sam.
Okay. That's my bad. Is there any updates for focus area number 6? Is there any update on focus area number 7?
Again, this is Supervisor Hernandez. That's one, and I don't, Commissioner Burns here as well, but there's a conversations have started with Commissioner Colombo and Commissioner Burr in regards to a virtual special event. It doesn't have to be a grand scale event. It can be maybe gathering information similar to our current, I don't know if you guys have visited our website, Cyclovia, which occurred a couple weeks ago. So maybe just gathering information like that. So we're finalizing that as we're also working on our fiscal year budgets in case we do want to do something larger. We can include it in our budget, but the conversations have begun with Commissioner Colombo and Commissioner Burr. So we'll be following up there as well.
And then for focus area number 8, I was looking at how to write a mission statement, and also I looked at like the website for the Youth Commission, and then I was like looking at the blurb at the top about what the Youth Commission is. So I was planning on changing the words to that and make it into like a mission statement form. And I tried doing that and it didn't turn out that well. So I'll continue to try to rephrase it.
This is Supervisor Hernandez. So we'll provide some guidance. I know this is one item we haven't, met on yet, but we can do a mini workshop where we can, just like Vice Chair Sakai started, we can focus on what our goals are and then start kind of jotting ideas and present that at a future meeting. So I can definitely provide some guidance and some framework for that. And that concludes the work plan items. At this time, just based on the calendar, we don't have any special events scheduled yet, just depending on COVID and if there's any lifting of restrictions. We're working on a spring egg hunt event. So once those details are final, we will definitely share with the Youth Commission. It's going to look a little bit different in its concept, but we are working with staff to continue being creative and providing events for the community with the limitations and the health the health orders that are that impact our community and the region. So we'll continue providing those updates, but at this time that concludes the work plan and my report. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
And then moving on to agenda item number 9, department updates from Manager Carlin.
Thank you, commissioners. I just have a few updates. First of all, I just wanted to make you guys all aware that Christian Hernandez, who's been your liaison for this commission, is actually leaving us next week. And he can give a little bit more detail on where he's going and such. So I'll let him speak for just a little bit on that.
Yeah, so first and foremost, I appreciate the opportunity, the Youth Commission has given me and entrusted in me to lead you and be a liaison and answer all your questions. As some of you or none of you may know, I actually lived out in Orange County area. So I am moving closer to home. And that is actually starting in 2 weeks or in a week and a half now. So I'll be in the city of Tustin. If you guys ever want to reach out to me or have any questions, feel free to do so. But I definitely appreciate everyone and all of these special events you've been part of and the change you're creating for this community. And adhering to the work plan, I definitely want to commend everybody and for all your hard work and your continued hard work for the community. So thank you.
Right. And I want to also thank Christian for all his hard work over the last couple of years and working specifically with the Youth Commission. As some of you may know, Ken Rundle, he's actually on the call here as well. He actually had the Youth Commission right before Christian did. So since he's had prior experience with the Youth Commission, he's going to pick up where Christian left off and be your liaison for the remainder of this school year. So Ken, if you want to just pop on and say a few words if you're there.
Sure, thank you, Manager Carlin. Hello, Youth Commissioners. Again, my name is Ken Rundle, and as Travis has said, I've worked with the Commission in previous years, and I'm excited to have the opportunity to work with you again. I see some really exciting things on your work plan, and just listening to the meeting today, you guys have some great things in place, and I'm just looking forward to working with each one of you.
Okay, thank you, Ken. And I just have a couple other updates. Currently, our department is really working primarily on our next 2-year budget. The city of Encinitas does a 2-year budget cycle. And so we are budgeting right now for fiscal year 21-22 and 22-23. So we're talking about how we're going to navigate COVID for the rest of the calendar year, and really trying to put together some projections on what types of things we want to do, what types of programs we want to do, and what types of services we want to provide to our community from the Parks and Recreation Department. In addition to that, we're also trying to navigate and really think through what our summer is going to look like as far as summer camps and things. As you may recall, last year we had to cancel a lot of our summer camps and we only held a small handful of programs. So we're currently working with the county, we're working with lifeguard staff, and just having conversations amongst ourselves in the department to determine what we can offer to the public this summer as far as summer camps. So those are the 2 main things that we're working on for this year. I look forward to seeing the rest of the work plan completed. So Ken and I will tag team that and help you out with completing your work plan for this year. Does anybody have any questions? Thank you.
And then moving on to agenda item number 10, are there any commission member initiated items?
Supervisor Hernandez, there are none for this evening.
And then moving on to agenda item number 11, future agenda items added. Are there any future agenda items added by commission members?
This is Supervisor Hernandez. There have been no requests for additional items.
And then agenda item number 12, commission reports. I'll go first. As for LCC seniors, the LCC splash out started on February 1st, and I got my target out, so. Oops. And then can Commissioner Gonzalez go next? Thank you.
Commissioner Gonzalez, for SDA, there have been some students returning to campus. We're all just still digital, but they're on campus, like at one of the tables. Everyone's like separated at different tables. And yeah.
Commissioner Pacheco?
Same with LCC. People are allowed to go back in cohorts, but it's basically just online school. You're just on school campus. Everybody's separated. Another thing that LCC ASB has done is we just got the okay to do Chalk the Lot for the seniors at LCC. So that'll be next Wednesday, and we're planning it.
Commissioner Burr?
At Oakcrest, the semester just started, the second semester, so we got new electives and changed a few classes around.
Commissioner Schneider?
So at Tri-State Christian, there's nothing much going on. It's in school though, so you can like go to school and there's not much, like I said, going on. And there's like some sports are not being able to be played, but that's about it.
Commissioner Fu?
Commissioner Fu, this week marks our second week back since our semester break. So everyone's slowly getting more used to their new classes. Like Commissioner Gonzalez said, we're slowly integrating back into people going to school at like separately, at still social distance. But we're also having certain sports go back. Like for instance, for water polo, they're having a preseason to prepare for the actual season.
Okay, I'd like to thank Supervisor Hernandez for dedicating its time to the Youth Commission, and I wish you luck in the future. And I'd like to adjourn the February 3rd meeting at 5:13.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye.